But we are going to start here at the San Siro, where Inter Milan and Barcelona played out a Champions League classic as the Italian side sealed their place in the final with a 7-6 aggregate win.
After a thrilling 3-3 draw in the first leg, not many thought it could be a repeat, but there was all that and much more as well, with Inter snatching the win in extra time just moments after they'd scored a stoppage time equaliser to keep alive their Champions League hopes.
Incredible. Paris Saint-Germain or Arsenal will await Inter now in the final, with Simone Inzaghi guiding Inter to their second final in just 3 years.
Well, Inter looked to be heading out until Francesco Acerbi's stoppage time goal made it 6-6 on aggregate. The Italians then snatched the win in extra time thanks to substitute Davide Fratesi. 7-6, the final score after 2 legs.
Stasera siamo stati straordinari. È stata una partita di una difficoltà estrema contro un avversario di livello mondiale come l'è stato il Bayern Monaco. Abbiamo fatto 4 partite, una meglio dell'altra, se no chiaramente non andavamo in finale, non ci pronosticavano in tanti li abbiamo lasciati come sempre quando era il momento, li abbiamo ascoltati, chi più chi meno, e poi insomma adesso siamo molto orgogliosi per la nostra gente. Stasera insomma l'applauso finale, il giro con tutti i nostri tifosi se lo meritano, perché non hanno mai lasciato un seggiolino vuoto a San Siro, quindi era giusto condividere questa bella finale con loro. E poi insomma vanno fatti i complimenti anche al Barcellona, perché hanno fatto 2 grandi partite anche loro.
They're really strong, but they are also experienced. We have a young team, and we will improve, of course. And this is our job, to make this team better and better. And we will do it. We work on that, and also we can improve in the defense, of course, but also in the offense. You feel a little bit unfair because I think some decision the referee made was really maybe not on our side, but it's like that. Okay, we have to accept it. And we start again next season. Okay, to win the Champions League. This is one of our goals.
So, a Champions League classic then, no doubt about that, and the numbers back it up. There's only been one other occasion since 1992 that a semi-final has seen 13 goals scored across 2 legs. That one was, of course, Liverpool against Roma in 2018.
The sustained quality from first leg to second leg, with that many utterly balmy moments and swings in it, I've not seen anything like it. I'm quite happy for people to criticise me for recency bias, but I thought that was magnificent.
It was one for the ages. There will be contenders. I think Spurs might have a say too. From 2019 against Ajax, that was more just the second leg, but still an iconic European moment. But goodness me, it had a bit of everything.
Last week, I didn't think they were going to be able to top that. I thought tactics would kick in. I thought it would become cagey, close, too much at stake, and it wasn't that. It was just chaos.
I think this is the night for Simone Inzaghi, and he's had a few of them. He reached the Champions League final a couple of years ago, and he's done that again. 2 finals in 3 years. What a coach he is, and maybe he's a little bit underappreciated. He does get linked with some of the top jobs in the Premier League in particular, but he's staying at Inter at the moment and doing a fabulous job.
Well, speaking on social media, Lamine Yamal was bullish about Barcelona's future prospects. He said, "We've given it our all this year. We couldn't make it, but we'll be back. Don't doubt it. We won't stop until we leave this club where it deserves to be, at the top. I'll keep my promise and bring it to Barcelona. We won't stop until we achieve that."
Well, was last night the best semi-final tie that you've ever seen? We want your opinions. It doesn't have to be Champions League either. Use the hashtag GMSF, and we're going to share some of your opinions on air a little later. So we're looking for classic 2-legged ties, always. Semi-finals,
in any
ideal.
competition.
Any competition. Even if it's one you've played in.
Yeah.
Right? Then, let us know.
Great. Well, Inter have history in this competition, having previously won 2 European Cups and 1 Champions League.
That's right, yeah. In 2010, they beat Barcelona in the semi-final before Jose Mourinho's side went on to beat Bayern Munich in the final. Remember that one?
2025 will be the 7th time Inter have reached the Champions League or European Cup final. Only 6 clubs, in fact, have achieved that feat on more occasions.
Yeah, that's right. And the last of those was in 2023 against Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, as the Italians lost 1-0 on the night, but came close to an upset in what many thought would be a very one-sided game. Well, if Arsenal can overcome PSG tonight, then they'll set up a final against Inter. Mikel Arteta's side lost 1-0 away to the Italian giants earlier this season, with Hakan Çalhanoğlu scoring from the penalty spot, just like he did last night.
Dobbiamo continuare, la finale sarà una finale contro una grandissima squadra, che sia l'Arsenal, che sia il Paris Saint-Germain. Chiaramente capisco quello che tu mi hai chiesto, perché dopo aver affrontato il Bayern Monaco e il Barcellona, chiaramente saranno squadre difficilissime anche queste, ma il Bayern Monaco e il Barcellona probabilmente erano le 2 migliori squadre in Europa in questo momento.
I mean, Jamie, it's a bit sad. I'm a bit sad. I know you're not.
Yeah.
But look, people will talk about the miss of Bukayo. People will talk about a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I do believe that Paris Saint-Germain deserve to go through over the 2 legs, and I have to be. It's not even being good sport. They do deserve it. It does hurt as an Arsenal fan, but you have to congratulate them.
Yeah. I mean, they had to score in that early time, didn't they?
Yes.
Arsenal, they had to score in the first 15, 20 minutes. They had to in there, Thierry. I mean, as you said, the best team have got through. I mean, that is the final, really, isn't it? We were probably hoping for Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain, but Arsenal will be disappointed. But as I said, Paris Saint-Germain have been the best team in Europe this season, so...
Well, what were your thoughts, Jamie? I haven't been able to hear them for the last half an hour or so.
The best team won. I was impressed with Arsenal's performance in this game. They actually did a lot more than I thought they would, and I think they'll come away from the game thinking they were maybe unfortunate to lose the actual game in itself. I mean, even though PSG missed the penalty, let's not forget, but they put up a really strong show, and I think in that first 20-25 minutes, I think they gave PSG a real scare, and they were very unlucky not to go 1-0 up.
What's your perspective, Thierry?
I mean, like Jimmy said, I mean, the best team went through, and people will talk to me about moments, and yeah, moments do matter, details do matter. Paris Saint-Germain blitzed Arsenal at the beginning at the Emirates I'm talking about, and scored. Arsenal did the same thing at the Parc des Princes and didn't score. And yes, you will tell me that Donnarumma saved it. People will talk to me about the miss of Bukayo Saka. I can go also with Desiré Doué not giving the ball to Barcola. Barcola missing almost a 1v1. Okay, Declan Rice touched it. Them missing a penalty. We can have a lot. At the end of the day, the best team went through. It is painful, but there's nothing really you can say. At one point, Arsenal started to be really direct. Any throw-in, any free kick, anything were played long in the box. No, seriously, and by the way, it worked. It did work, but not enough. And there was a difference between the two teams for me.
Does this feel kind of like a coming of age for PSG in some ways for this team?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've looked better than Inter Milan in this competition because that's all that matters now. And I think if you're PSG and you get to the final and you come up against Inter Milan, who are a very good team, but it's not Real Madrid, it's Big Meeks.
Meeks, Peter Schmeichel and Donnarumma reunited.
Being ignored.
Will Donnarumma know who Big Meeks is?
Big Meeks is being ignored. He's just watching, he's letting the goalkeepers have their moment, I think.
I mean, I love that moment. Peter Schmeichel.
look at that.
He knows who Big Meeks is. He's going to ask him now who his favourite is, isn't he? Who's your favourite? It's you. Look at Mike. Michael was asking about his shoulder.
I'm okay, he said.
But listen, this is the man at the moment. He's won the Champions League before. Is he going to win it again, Thierry? Would you make them favourites? You think they've got a really
I go
big
further.
confidence now?
I go further. He won the treble.
Yes.
He can do another one with another team.
Yeah.
So, look, anything can happen in the final. You already know that, Jamie. I'm not going to go there. But what it did is you were saying, like, is it a team that's coming of age? And but there's the youngest team that they ever. Normally that happens to. I won't talk about wine and yesterday, but normally that's what happened with, you know, a good wine, a good team. When you have a couple of Bordeaux and you didn't win, but that team is very young. Most of them don't even know the bad result in Europe for Paris Saint-Germain, and they don't really care. They went to semi-final last year. They're going to the final this year, and it looks like they might win it. But hey, don't sleep on Inter. It's going to be a very good final.
I'm getting rushed. By popular demand, Micah is not here in the studio. No, he was voted that he should be in Paris, and there he is, man of the people, Micah Richards.
He said, yeah, baby.
Where are you?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yes.
What did he say?
Is he a Paris Saint-Germain fan now?
That's what I'm saying. The guy's an Arsenal fan. Look at what he does.
I'm having an absolute great time. This is why you want me on the road, because this is absolutely outstanding. I'm a
Well.
Wow! Oh my God! I'm absolutely loving it!
I don't know how the Arsenal fan will take that one, him being an Arsenal fan and singing Paris Saint-Germain, but he's going to have to deal with that one.
You spoken to him today? Is he in good spirits?
Yeah, it was. Did I speak to him? This guy called me, video called me, and I was out of the shower.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's... No, but, you know, anyway. What time this guy? And I was out of the shower. That's my man calling me. So I'm like, okay.
God, he must have a fight.
I answer. And it was like with some Arsenal fan. And as soon as I saw it was, you know, I didn't have a T-shirt on and stuff. And I put the phone down. This guy, that's typical him. And then I called back and he was in good spirit. Having I don't know what if I can say, maybe it was or maybe not. Anyway, he was at the terrace with some Arsenal fans, pretending to be an Arsenal fan. An aperitif, yes. And now he's pretending to be a Paris Saint-Germain fan. But anyway, no, he was in good spirit, and it's nice to see him like that.
He's gonna carry on in good spirits. And this is apparently what he's been up to. This is his day so far. Oysters? Is that?
Wow.
Snails.
Oh, he's got a sticky
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah,
no.
snails.
Oh, no.
It's not bad.
Enjoyed it, huh?
Commiserations. That was Arsenal's first semi-final in the Champions League since the 2008-2009 campaign. How tough is it to take?
Well, first of all, congratulate PSG. They are in the final. It's not about merits. It's actually about what the scoreline shows. This game is about, and this competition about the boxes. And in both games, their man of the match was the same player, their goalkeeper.
Today was Achraf Hakimi.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I think it was clear who won the game today for them. And I just spoke to them, and they had the same view on it. So very disappointed to not to be in the final, but we have to accept that the performance is not enough. At the end, you have to have the capacity to win the game in the box.
Who is it that you spoke to,
Yeah,
sorry?
to a few people of them. Yeah.
Oh, and they shared that opinion.
Yeah.
In terms
all of them.
Events within the game, there was the penalty call. You didn't seem happy with that. Of course, Raya stepped up. He made the save. Saka managed to pull one back, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah. That's all in the past now.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, we've only got 30 seconds left, so you can give me a very quick reaction.
I'm good at these. I'm good at these links. No, listen. Listen. When a manager speaks after the game, he's still emotional. I've seen another interview where he says that he feels Arsenal the best team in the Champions League this season and what they've done. That's nonsense. They're not. They're not. He said something similar a couple of days about Liverpool's points tally, and the same one with him. So, no, I think he's just an emotional manager at the moment.
5,
yeah.
4.
So
He's great at these
we'll
links.
see you in Munich.
Everybody have a wonderful time. See you at the final.
To say that European football expert Kevin Hatchett joins us now to discuss this tie in more detail. Nowhere else to start, Kevin, than Lamine Yamal. And look, they've played down this comparison with Lionel Messi, but you have watched a lot of European football. How good is he? Is he better? Just tell us that.
He's arguably better than Messi at this stage, but whether he'll go on to produce that extraordinary longevity and that extraordinary body of work, we'll see. But in terms of the mental side of it, he is extraordinary, Lamine Yamal, because Hansi Flick alluded to it there. He almost always makes the right decision, whether it's the right type of pass, whether it's the right idea, whether it's to shoot, which player to bring into play. So he's a creative figure as well as a goal scorer. He's somebody that, like Messi, will grab a game by the scruff of the neck and drag it into Barcelona's favour. And I think the thing to bear in mind is that in that first leg, he played his 100th game for Barcelona. I mean, he's only 17, and yet he's been in that first team picture for 2 years now. He's won a European Championship with Spain. Not only did he win it, he was one of the key figures in winning it. So this is a young man that not only is getting some game time here and there, he's playing in the biggest games the sport has to offer, and he's generally winning them, and he's generally affecting them all the way through. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. I think, like you say, the Euros, watching him last year, I mean, just epic performances from him every step of the way. Look, we must, remember that he is only 17. So, Kevin, do you think he's got a temperament to deal with the pressure that is, if it's not already there, it's coming his way?
I think he does. I think he's one of those players that actually thrives in the big occasion. I think he wants more responsibility. I think one of the things as well that stands out about his game is the work without the ball. If you look at Spain's success in the European Championship, a lot of it was built on their pressing game. And guys like him and Nico Williams out wide were doing that hard work without the ball. So he's got that part of it locked down. I think he's got that healthy arrogance. He's been quite open about the fact that he's delighted they've been beating Real Madrid on a regular basis this season. He had not one pair of sunglasses, but 2 pairs for the Copa del Rey final recently. I think he enjoys the spotlight. I thought he spoke very impressively when he had that press conference recently. That was the first one he'd done, really, on the big stage. And I think he does have that maturity, he does have that ability to compartmentalise and deal with the big occasion.
Yeah, he's going to need it, isn't he, in the future? I love the fact that Inzaghi says they need to find a way to stop him. I think they're talking about double marking. Are you confident that they can do that and qualify for the final? What do you think?
I think Inter can make it. I think with Lamine Yamal, there's only so much you could do. He was exceptional in the first half of that first leg. Absolutely brilliant. And he needed to be, because Barca were 2-0 down in that game at one stage. I thought he was a little bit quieter in the second half, but the funny thing was he had a spell where he wasn't quite affecting the game, and yet then came up with this extraordinary effort where he lifted the ball over the goalkeeper and hit the frame of the goal, and everybody wasn't quite sure, was it a cross for Rafinha or was it a shot? And it was absolutely a shot, and he was happy to say that afterwards. So you can never quite keep him out for the whole game. I think where this Inter team are interesting is that they're happy to take punishment. They're happy to soak up lots and lots of shots, and then they'll hit you on the counter. A lot depends on how fit Lautaro Martinez is and how much of a role he can play. But as we saw last week, having Denzel Dumfries and Marcus Thuram back in their lineup gave them that pace and that dynamism on the counter. And against that high defensive line that Barca always play, that could be a key feature of the game tonight.
Walk us through Barcelona's front three. How do you feel that they compare to the famous Messi, Suarez and Neymar attack of old?
Yeah, I mean, it's early days as a three, but if you look at what they're achieving, they've won the Spanish Super Cup, they've won the Copa del Rey, they've absolutely hammered Real Madrid this season, and now they've beaten them 3 times across 3 different competitions. They've got them again at the weekend. If they were to win the Champions League, and they were to also win La Liga, that would be 4 trophies in one season. And so for them to do that. And they're a really nice mix as well, because Lewandowski's got all these goals this season. He's proven to people that thought he was maybe over the hill that that's absolutely not the case. Rafinha, I think, has been a revelation under Hansi Flick. And they are very much a reflection of their coach, because there are echoes of the Bayern team that Hansi Flick had in 2020, of which Lewandowski was a part. They are relentlessly attacking. They are risk takers. They're a team that loves to entertain, and they don't mind if the opposition score 2 or 3, because they're always confident they'll get 4 or 5. So, yeah, I think a little bit to go to eclipse that front 3, but certainly a great start.
Arsenal out, do you think? What are the main reasons?
Just not clinical enough, to be honest, Ted. Arsenal created a lot of chances, especially early on the first 7 minutes. Declan Rice had a header that went inches. He out-jumped Marquinhos. Great header, but just went wide of the post. Then Martinelli had a chance. Donnarumma made a good save. Saka had a chance right at the end. And I think it's a case of the same old story for Arsenal, really. Just not being clinical enough in the final third. And ultimately, when you play at the highest level, that will cost you, and it has tonight.
Luis Enrique's been lauded around the world. What could Arteta have done better tonight, do you think?
I don't think Arsenal could have done anything better than what they've done. They've gave everything. They're out on their feet. They kept trying. They kept trying to create. They was aggressive. The work rate was really good. The game plan was good. But again, you just fall short because Arsenal wasn't clinical enough. And that's what it's come down to. PSG, they rode the storm. They were organised. They were difficult to break down, but then they broke really fast. And when they did get their chances, they were clinical. Hakimi scored a fantastic goal. Fabio Ruiz, it was a great shot from the edge of the box. It did take a big deflection though, but they was more clinical overall.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang left Arsenal in February 2022, more than 3 years ago. Why have they not replaced him with an adequate goal scorer?
I mean, that's a question you're going to have to ask Mikel Arteta. But I mean, Mikel Arteta was at Man City with Guardiola. Guardiola did play a few seasons without a number 9, a natural number 9. There was a lot of players that played in that position. Foden played there, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. Players played that. Those kind of players played there. And I feel like with Mikel Arteta, maybe he's tried to do that and build the squad in areas that he thought was weaker. But now I feel like Mikel Arteta and Arsenal are at the point where they just need to say, okay, we're going to buy number 9. We really mean business, whoever it may be. The most important signing this summer is a number 9.
Who would you want? Seshko's been linked, RB Leipzig player, Gyökeres from Sporting.
I mean, ideally, in my opinion right now, the best overall striker in the world is Isak. And I say that because of his youth. He's got really good pace. He holds up the ball, he can beat players, he's very clinical, his movement's very good. Someone like him would be fantastic. But there are going to be a lot of teams that want him. There's been talks that Real Madrid might want him. Liverpool are looking for a number 9. Darwin Núñez might be leaving. So it's going to be a big summer of business for Arsenal. He would be the best one, in my opinion. But there are other strikers out there that could come and do a job. Delap, he could maybe be a good option. I believe he's between 30 and 40 million pounds. Very good young player. But ultimately, whoever comes in, they need to hit the ground running and be an absolute goal-scoring machine for Arsenal, because that's where Arsenal fall short.
5 seasons without a trophy now since the FA Cup in 2020 for Mikel Arteta. How sure are you that he is the manager to lead Arsenal?
I hate this question, to be honest, because I don't want to say that Arteta should get the sack. I wouldn't wish that upon nobody, but I feel like things will have to change if this continues. You can't hide away from the fact that Mikel Arteta has spent the better part of £700 million, which is an awful lot of money, and to then say you don't have a recognisable number 9.
Or any goal scorers really in the team, apart from Saka, are there?
And that's the problem. I feel like Arsenal is a bit lopsided. Everyone knows the ball goes out to Saka, even in tonight's game. Kvaratskhelia and Mendes were doubling up really well on Saka. Yes, he did score, but in them wide areas, it was difficult for him to get on the ball. And even though Martinelli does do well and he does his part, he works really hard, he makes some good runs in behind, when, especially against teams that play with the high line, there just seems to be a lopsided. And I feel like Arsenal need to make some signings to make the squad stronger, but to not have to rely on Saka so much in these big games.
How confident are you that Arsenal will win a trophy next season?
You're really putting me on the spot.
No, but this is what the Arsenal fans, because they're looking at looking at Manchester United, aren't they? Saying that's a chaotic team that's won the League Cup, FA Cup, potentially the Europa League in 3 seasons, whereas Arsenal all the plaudits, but nothing.
Very, very true. I think next year is going to be a much more competitive Premier League, I believe. Man City are going to go and sign players, Liverpool are going to go and sign, Chelsea are going to build again, Newcastle have the money to go and spend on players. I think it's going to be very, very competitive. It's going to be an interesting summer. But I believe Arsenal, they're not far away, let's put it that way. I think maybe 2-3 players away from really putting on a strong title challenge and going to win the domestic cups and really competing in the Champions League.